Good morning, everyone. Ben Bryce on Thursday, October 3rd, giving you your morning wake-up call. And right now, as we finished off the overnight markets, grains were down a little bit, very quiet overnight session, fairly lacking of any good-sized volume trade. Energies are higher as we've been seeing issues continuing to get hotter over there in Iran and Israel. So as that is happening, what are we looking for? What are we looking out for? Well, we got harvest underway. Numbers are coming back. I think farmers from customers that I've talked to and people around the country are really liking what they're seeing out of their cornfields if they can get out there. Now, beans are variable right now. It's still very early though in this harvest season, and if this is going to continue this way, we need to see some more solid numbers and get a higher percentage of the grain harvested before we can really start trading headlines or really talking about where yields might end up by the end of the year. Earlier this week, we did get a quarterly grain stocks report, and while that was fairly friendly for corn, there really wasn't anything to write home about. I mean, it was slightly better than expectations in terms of a smaller stock size, but it really wasn't all that bullish. And I think we're seeing that with this price action starting today. And maybe that move that we saw earlier this week with some strength in these markets was more so due to fund liquidation. We'll find out more about that tomorrow afternoon and again next week. We did get our weekly export sales fairly quiet. Now, these weekly export sales were hot for a couple of weeks back in July, August, and maybe early September, getting some of the demand talk get excited again. But as of the past few weeks now, we haven't been able to see too much movement here that's getting these grains too excited, and we need to be careful as we have had a little bit of a pop. Now, with corn, from those August lows, you've got about nearly a 50-cent pop in it, which is fantastic, and more so on the beans as well. But what has changed? The overall story really hasn't. We know these crops are going to be good. We've been talking about that. And as I said earlier, early yield numbers from talking to people around the country seems like these yields are going to be fairly all right as well. So we know we're going to have a big crop. There's been a lot of talk, too, about what is going on in South America in terms of their weather. But really right now, South American weather is dry. We've known that. How much drier can it get? It gets a little bit hard to do that. So if there's rain added into that forecast, these markets could move fairly violently, and we need to be aware of that. Right now, markets are quiet, but as we get more harvest numbers over the next few weeks, this could change. So in terms of livestock as well, again, nothing really to write home about there. Fairly good moves out of the cattle and hogs, but does that stay? That's going to be something that we need to be looking at more so on the cattle when it comes to what is going on in the macroeconomic factors, looking at the Dow and the S&P, and continuing to see decent cash prices. Meanwhile, we have been seeing weaker and weaker, or just really fairly weak box beef numbers. So as we finish off this week here, keep an eye out for that. Let's finish off October fairly with a good note, or finish off the first week of October on a good note. If you guys have any questions, give us a call at 1-800-2-MARK. That's 1-800-262-7538. Thank you.